The oxygen revolution is on. Welcome to the Vibrant You Show, where we discuss the advantages of cutting-edge therapies like hyperbaric oxygen therapy, light therapy, microcirculation, and more. Inside the chamber, it's a nap with benefits. Now, your host for the Vibrant You Show, the Oxygen and Light Lady, Stephanie Parrish.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. We are so excited to have you here joining us. It's been a beautiful weekend. It's a beautiful day here in Dixie. So if anybody wants to come our way, we'd love to have you. The sun is shining, and it's just amazing. So we are really excited about what we're going to talk about today. A few things that have just been on all of our minds is the coronavirus and the things that are happening out there. And just a little bit, I want to make sure that everybody's understanding when I share. Please be prepared. I call everybody and say, you know what, just get some water, get some food, make sure you're washing your hands. We bought masks, we've got gloves, we've got the things we need to have. But one of the things we were talking about this morning is what happens if you are called to get into a situation where you need to be quarantined for 2 weeks. Look around your home and find out what you have in your home if you were quarantined. Would you have enough water? Would you have enough food? Would you have enough supplies, toilet paper, to be able to be quarantined for 2 weeks? Not setting out panic, just being prepared. This is what we've been told. Be prepared. So a few things we want to talk about is alternative health care. Obviously, that's what we do at Vibrant You, Hyperbaric Oxygen and Light Center. And we do the hyperbaric, we do the QRS pad, which is the microcirculation. We do the saunas. We do all sorts of different wonderful things. And the one item we're going to focus on today is called the Avacen machine. And it's right here in front of me. And before I go any farther, I want to have a big shout out to DSU, to Dixie Radio, and to Sean Denovan. He's awesome. Big shout out to him. So we're going to show you the Avacen machine. We talk about this a lot. I'm going to have him zoom in on this. This is called the Avacen medical machine. It is for microcirculation. And as we're talking, I'm going to give myself a little treatment. So as we get talking, and I also want to welcome my dear sweet husband, Ken, here with me. He and I have been learning and educating and just having amazing responses and success with this little Avacen machine. And we wanted to share that with everybody out there. So while I'm getting prepared, I'm going to have Ken tell you just a little bit. As you can see, it's very small. I take this with me on the plane wherever I go. So as you can see, I'm just going to put this is got a little hand mitt that we're going to put your hand in. And basically, this has got 4 patents on it itself, just this little hand mitt. And the rest of it has 14 patents. It is FDA cleared for reduction of pain and reduction of inflammation. So I'm going to stick my hand in here, and I'm going to give myself a treatment as we're talking. So I'm going to introduce Ken so that he can tell you a little bit more about what's happening. So if you hear a little beeping in the background, it's the machine. It's actually calibrating to my hand and doing exactly what it needs to for microcirculation in my hand. So Ken, do you want to explain a little bit more of how the Avacen machine works and why we've been able to see such great things happening with it? Then we'll tell some fun stories.
Sure, absolutely. So the Avacen is an FDA-approved Class 2 medical device, and it's designed to warm your blood to 105 degrees under negative pressure. And that pressure is very important because there's a lot of ways you can warm up your blood, but the negative pressure actually causes your blood flow to accelerate. In fact, after about 8 to 10 minutes on the Avacen, the blood flowing back to your heart and throughout your entire body will be moving about 30% faster than normal. What that results in is faster microcirculation or more thorough microcirculation. And people, you may be wondering, why is microcirculation important? Or some people wonder even what it is.
Yeah,
I didn't know much about it. And so part of the learning curve for us getting into this system was to understand that 74% of our body's total circulation is microcirculation. That's blood flowing through those tiny little capillaries and arterioles and venules that feed nerves and all the tissues in our extremities and certain organs, and it's just absolutely.
What was that percent again?
74% of
74%.
our body's total circulation is microcirculation. And here's the thing about it. After age of 40, your microcirculation starts to deteriorate. Even if you're very active, it starts to slow down, and that gets progressively worse as you age. So if there's a way to reverse that and get your blood flowing the way it was before you were 40, that's going to result, generally speaking, in better health. And so when we first learned about the Avacen, of course, we do hyperbaric oxygen therapy at Vibrant U, and we had heard that some doctors and some other hyperbaric clinics were bringing in a device that improved microcirculation, and we thought, wow, what a great idea. You know, if we're infusing the body with all this extra oxygen, if we can then microcirculate it and get it to all the tissues of the body, what that's like turbocharging.
A win-win, right?
It's like turbocharging the hyperbaric. It makes it even more effective than it is by itself.
Absolutely.
So that was kind of the background of how we got into it. Of course, we did a lot of research and testing beforehand, but this is a legitimate medical device, and it works. It's amazing. After 15 minutes on the Avacen, with just your hand in the machine, your microcirculation will improve by 66%.
So is that why this hand is tingling?
Yeah, that's why.
Right now, I've got my left hand in the machine, but I'm feeling the tingling,
and
the
how
blood
many
flow,
minutes have you been on it?
And I've only been on it for about 3 minutes right now.
That's amazing.
And I'm already feeling it in this hand.
So what's happening is that that blood, as it's accelerated and flowing back to your heart, of course the heart distributes it throughout your entire body. That blood is moving faster. It's getting into those tiny capillaries and arterioles and venules, and that microcirculation is improving. What that means is this. It's very simple. Your bloodstream is how your body delivers oxygen and nutrients to the tissues and organs of your body.
That's kind of important, isn't it?
That's everything.
Because without oxygen...
Yeah, you last about 3 minutes.
And that's it. You're done.
You're done. So tissues and organs that have the correct amount of oxygen and nutrients function better. They stay healthy. They don't become diseased or ill or malfunction. And so that's the beauty of good microcirculation, and that's the whole purpose of the Avacen, is to improve that microcirculation to pre-age 40 levels. So it's pretty exciting.
So everybody can benefit, right? Is there anybody that really can't benefit from more oxygen and more microcirculation?
Maybe a newborn baby. I don't know. Just about everybody can benefit.
Really, everybody can benefit from more oxygen and more microcirculation. And that's what we get to do. It's so fascinating. When we first brought this machine on, we had heard about it, and it was just one of those things that we were very blessed to be given this opportunity, and being able to listen and learn from some of the doctors that have been using this in their clinics. Because when we get to take those oxygen molecules in the body, and this is at a hyperbaric level, which means that the oxygen that we're infusing while your body is in the chamber, those oxygen molecules dissolve and get into the liquid plasma. When they get into the liquid plasma, they're now able to travel on all of the fluids, right? The cerebral fluids, the spinal fluids, get into, as I love to say, the nooks and crannies of the body. And then when we get to take people out of that hyperbaric with all of that amazing infused oxygen, then we get to stick their hand in this amazing little machine called the Avacen medical machine and microcirculate that. As you were just saying, 74% more oxygen, more movement into the small capillaries of the body. That's what's happening at Vibrant U right now. We get to take that oxygen and microcirculate it. We have seen the neatest things happen, haven't we? It's just been such a blessing. When we first started this, we'll kind of go back at the beginning, which was last October. We were introduced to this little machine, and both of us were going, whoa, is that really what's happening? And so we were able to get this machine, and we got it literally within 2 days of having a booth at the Huntsman Senior Games. really not even understanding what we had in our hands, in the palm of our hands, literally. So we set up a booth at the Huntsman Senior Games, and what we did then was we had some other people come up and help us that are our mentors in the business from Vegas. They came up and brought their machines. We sat there. It was so fascinating to watch all of these athletes, and a huge shout out to the athletes that are there. They're all over 50 years old, and they are just amazing athletes, but they're all pretty broken up. Their bodies have been through doing this sports or this athletic stuff for many, many, many years. And we had clients with arthritic hands that would just come in, and they're trying to play pickleball, or they're trying to bowl, and they can barely even move their fingers. And we had them put their hands in this machine for just 10 minutes. And literally we were watching these fingers open up. We were watching the arthritis go away. We had the U.S. volleyball team. It's one of my favorite stories. We had two of the gals show up at the U.S. volleyball team, and one had a trigger finger that she had just had surgery on that was not healing, and the other one had bruising all up and down her arms. She was the digger, the other one was the spiker. And they're like, we don't even know if we can play. They were in so much pain. So we did one session on them in the morning, one session on them in the afternoon, and they went and played their 2 games. They came back the next day with 4 other members of their team. And they're like, we played the best we've played. This is crazy. There was no pain. They're moving their hands and their arms, and it was so funny. We're like, whoa, this is really cool. Anyway, we did all 6 of them that morning twice, and then they had another games that night, and they were getting ready to play for the championship. And in they came with all of their whole volleyball team. And this wasn't just volleyball. We had baseball teams and pickleball teams, and we had whole teams coming to our booth. It was so fun. So we had the whole volleyball team there, and they all had sessions with us. And it was really funny while they were sitting there, because the Canadian team came by, and they're like, that's that hand thing. That's that hand thing. We need to talk about that hand thing. We want to try it. And the American team said, don't let the Canadians do it, because this is our key to success, and we don't want the Canadians to do it. It was so funny. And that was the way it was through the whole games. There was getting competitive of who they were allowing to go on the machine. Of course, we were happy to share it with everybody. And I believe the U.S. team did win the gold, because they came and showed it to us. So it was really an exciting thing. And we had the opportunity of seeing so many things. Fibromyalgia, we had one lady who is huge shout out to her. She's a pickleballer, and she's like, I don't know what happened, but I'm in pain and I take heavy medications. And by the time she got done doing the Avacen machine, she'd waited till the next morning, and she hadn't had to take any pain meds. And she said, I played better than I've played in years. So she did it again. She came back the next day after doing the machine twice, and she had won the gold with no pain. It was just so cool. And again, this little machine is FDA cleared for reduction of inflammation and reduction of pain. And as we know, you can talk a little bit more with that, Ken. What happens when the reduction of pain or reduction of inflammation is gone? There's no pain.
That's right.
And that can be due to what? Share that with us, because this is actually FDA cleared.
The conditions that are associated with inflammation and pain, of course, are arthritis, fibromyalgia, migraines. This machine is remarkably effective for migraines, but there's a specific protocol you have to follow when you do that. Also, sprains, strains, deep muscle cramps. The way the body dissipates heat, and of course this is heating your blood, it'll drive the blood through deep muscle tissue in an effort to restore normothermia to your core temperature. And so it's really great for relieving muscle cramps. So that's one thing. I think it's interesting you talk about the senior games, because we became aware that the Avacen had actually been in clinical trials for 10 years before it came to market.
Right.
And during that 10-year period, they performed over 5 million treatments on people with this machine, with various ailments, most of the ones I just mentioned. And it was proven beneficial for all of those conditions. And here's the other thing. There was not one single adverse event or effect from the Avacen treatment.
That's just
I
mind-blowing,
don't know
isn't
of
it?
any other medical treatment that could say that. It's just phenomenally safe and helpful for so many things. But the senior games for me, and I think it was for you too, was the thing that really sold us on the effectiveness of the Avacen.
Oh,
Seeing,
absolutely.
what did we put, like 400 athletes through this thing?
Yes.
In a 10-day period?
In a 10-day period.
And-
We didn't stop.
And I remember, of course, I'm in my 60s, and I'm when all the athletes, and there were thousands of them, about 12,000 of them, when they came through the first day, I got to thinking, I was in that Olympic mindset, and I was expecting all these young, magnificent-looking people to come through, and they were all these older people that were broken down and limping, and I mean, they're great athletes, and when I watched them play, I was just blown away how well they play. But they were hurting, and they were broken down and physically in pain and suffering. And the more, as the days progressed, more and more athletes would come to the booth. Like you say, by the end of the games, the entire teams were coming by because the inflammation was going down, the pain was going away. They performed better in their games, and they recovered faster after the games. And that, was a real testimony to me of the effectiveness of this machine. What I saw, I couldn't believe. It was amazing.
Right. It was so new to us. We hadn't had the opportunity. Literally, we had 2 days and before we started the games. Yeah. And to be able to see what we were seeing was just really kind of mind-blowing for both of us, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, we've had Vibrant U running here in St. George for about 4 years. I've done it for about almost 8 years now, going on, doing this for a long time. But to be able to see this Avacen machine and what it was doing for virtually everybody. We had a veteran there. He wasn't competing, but I think he was there supporting his wife. And he had been in his wheelchair for over 3 years and was told he'd never walk again. So we had him just try it. Let's see what's going to do. We don't know. We don't diagnose. We don't do any of that stuff. We just give the body the tools and let it see what happens, right? So he had been in the machine. I think we did 15 minutes on him. And he was an older gentleman, obviously, and his wife was there. And he said, I think I might be able to stand up. And we're like, okay. And it'd been over 3 years since he'd been able to actually stand and hold himself up. And so he says, I'm going to need some help. So a couple of us helped him get up. And then he goes, you know what? I think I can take a few steps. And he literally took about 5 steps. And his wife was crying. She had tears running down her face. It was the first time in over 3 years he'd been out of that wheelchair and strong enough to be able to stand and move his feet.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was
one of those aha moments that you just, and here I'm going to get emotional because we get to see these things happen all the time. And I love talking about our 2 cute little ladies. The one was in her 70s, and she was doing the mountain biking or the mountain hiking and was in such incredible shape. And she'd come in and done the Avacen, and then she went and did her trial, and then came back and did the Avacen again. And then she came back with her gold medal. And she's like, wow, that was the best time I've ever had hiking that mountain. And that was one of the events that she'd done. She says, now I need to get ready for the walk, the speed walk. Yeah. It's like, oh my goodness gracious, seriously. In the meantime, we had another lady come, and she had done about 15 minutes in the Avacen, and then she came back a little bit later, and we kind of always got, everybody was telling us their scores, or they were telling us different things, and she came back and she's like, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5. Remember, we're looking at her going, what is 6.5? What does that mean? That's not a score to anything. What are you talking about? She goes, no, 6.5 hours I've been pain-free. She goes, I need to stick my hand in there again. And we're just looking at her going, we that aren't in pain all the time don't understand the importance of 6.5 hours being pain-free, especially when you're an athlete and you're trying to go out there and compete. And it was so cute the next morning because they both came at the same time. And the one lady that had come 3 times with her hand in the Avacen had the gold medal. The other one that had come twice had the silver medal. And their bantering was a hoot, wasn't it? Yeah. They were arguing because she's like, the one that got the silver medal, and she lost the gold medal by 1/100th of a second.
Yeah.
It was literally boom, boom.
It was a bitter pill for her to swallow.
And she goes, so they start arguing about, well, next year she's going to make sure she does more Avacen treatments than the other lady because she was going to make sure she won it next year. And that was what was happening at the whole senior games, wasn't it? It was just absolutely fascinating. And so I wanted to show you, I just took the bag off my hand. The machine just released, so my hand is feeling really warm. I love the feel. It's super warm. I have tingling in both of my hands, which is what I do all the time, and I'm just now feeling it going down my legs. So sometimes it can take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, sometimes a couple hours, and people tell us that they start feeling it down their legs. So that's just one more of the cool things, and pretty soon it'll be down into my feet. I'll be feeling it in my feet here.
For me, it's I just feel really warm and good inside, and I just feel more alert, and I can get up and walk around pain-free. It's just great. You know, I don't have any major health problems, but I've noticed that my arthritis, which is the one thing I do suffer from, has been a whole lot better since I've been doing the Avacen. And I just feel better, and I have more energy, and I sleep better at night.
Oh, absolutely. One of the things I love about it that I've been doing, because I'm a little bit stressed. I have a lot of things going
You're all
on
that stressed.
in my mind all the time. And I've had so many people tell me, you just have got to calm your brain. And even when I go in the hyperbaric, I try really hard to sleep because that just calms the brain. That's when repair and regeneration can happen, when your body's at rest. When we push and push and push and push, our body doesn't have time. All that energy that we've infused in our body is being used to just keep going. So what we totally encourage our clients to do, when you come in, you just rest, because that's when your body can go, thank you. Now I can use this energy that's being put in my body to repair myself. And so one of the things that I've been doing in the morning, and this has been because I've been recommended for many, many years, to start doing meditation. And it's like, who has time for meditation? I don't. But what I've been doing in the morning is I have been putting my hand in the machine and doing 20 minutes with my hand in the machine at the same time that I'm doing my 20 minutes of meditation. And it literally is changing my life. I can feel it. I notice a difference. I notice my days go better. The days that I don't take the time to just microcirculate my blood and calm my brain with meditation, it's a completely different day.
It's wonderful. You know, Stephanie, a lot of the people listening to this podcast are probably wondering, okay, this is great. You got this new machine. You use it with your hyperbaric, but how can I benefit that without coming to your clinic? We got into this as an adjunct therapy for the hyperbaric, and after people would complete their sessions, they started asking about, okay, how do I keep doing the Avacen? Do I have to come back to the clinic and pay $49 each time?
Right.
Or can I just buy this machine? And so we contacted Avacen, and they do have a direct sales program. So a lot of our clients, after finishing their hyperbaric and their Avacen sessions, ended up buying the machine for home use, because it's, as you can see, it's very small and portable. It's very easy to use, and it's very affordable. I mean, it's kind of expensive. It's a fair chunk of money to purchase, but it's a lot less than like a cold laser machine and some other medical devices for inflammation and pain. So it's really a bargain in that sense. And the convenience of using it is just outstanding. So,
and we did sell a number of them at the senior games. That was what was so funny, because people were from all over the place, weren't they?
Yeah, all over the world.
And they're like, I got to take this home. I got to have one of these. I need to order one. So we did sell a lot of them at the senior games. And basically what we're here to do is to show you that there is an alternative. This is what we want people to realize with our hyperbaric, with the things that we do in our clinic, with our Avacen machine. There are alternatives, and we are so grateful for the medical community and what they do out there. People need to realize, though, that alternative medicine is skyrocketing, and people are finally understanding how important it is to find other things that are not going to put medications into your body that might just mask what's going on, but to get right down to the very deep, dark depths of the symptoms,
the underlying cause,
and the cause of it, and figure it out and see if it can repair and regenerate. And that's what we get to see happen all the time.
Absolutely.
It's amazing what we get to watch happen at Vibrant U Hyperbaric Oxygen and Light Center. So, Ken, do you have any last few seconds of comments?
Just to point out, the trend is toward alternative healthcare. That is the future. And because the technology that's coming out, the devices that are coming out, the therapies that are coming out are amazing, and they work with minimal or no side effects, and
non-invasive.
And non-invasive, and very,
generally
speaking, very easy to use. So alternative medicine is the future.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That's awesome. And this is Stephanie at the Oxygen and Light Lady at Vibrant U Hyperbaric Oxygen and Light Center. Please reach out to us, vibrantuutah.com, and that is YOU, vibrantuutah.com, 435-218-7260. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to give you some alternative. Be healthy and happy.
This has been the Vibrant Youth Show with the Oxygen and Light Lady, Stephanie Parrish. For more information about hyperbaric oxygen therapy, PPMT light therapy, Avacen microcirculation, neurofeedback, and other modalities, go to vibrantuutah.com. Until next time, this has been the Vibrant Youth Show with the Oxygen and Light Lady, Stephanie Parrish. And remember, the oxygen revolution is on.